For a long time, people thought Castro Valley was the quiet option in the East Bay. That's if they've even heard of it. We got good schools, nice lots, but a sleepy town between Oakland and on your way to Dublin. That's code word for boring, by the way. But if you're looking to buy here in 2026, you need to know the reality. It's not cheap, and frankly, it never really was. This has always been a premium market. What's changed in 2026 isn't just who you're competing against. It's the lifestyle, the amenities, and the expectations that now comes with buying in Castro Valley. If you're thinking about moving to Castro Valley this year, here's the honest truth about the schools, the lifestyle, the commute, and the real cost of entry right now. Hey, my name is Mac Rogers. I'm a local real estate broker here. If you need help, let me know. Okay, let's talk about the schools first, because this is one of the biggest reasons people stretch their budgets to live here. The Castro Valley Unified School District continues to rank well compared to most of the California districts. On niche.com, the district still carries an A-level rating, and on neighborhoodscout.com, it places Castro Valley schools in roughly the top 10% statewide for academic performance. There are two things to keep in mind though. One, every school has a different rating and they also fluctuate. So if this is important to you, make sure to check the latest rankings. The second is that not every part of Castro Valley feeds into the same schools. Two homes just a few blocks apart can land in very different attendance areas. And in 2026, buyers are paying close attention to that. Certain elementary school zones consistently command higher prices and stronger competition even within the same neighborhood. The key takeaway, the schools remain strong and there hasn't been a meaningful decline in ratings over the past few years. But where you buy matters just as much as that you buy in Castro Valley. Now let's talk about that boring reputation. Maybe I contributed to that as well. For decades, even though homes here commanded a premium price, the amenities didn't really match the price tag. Castro Valley was known for great schools, nice lots with hillside views, but if you wanted a great meal or a real night out, you were usually driving to Pleasanton or to Oakland, or most of the time to the city. That has changed. The biggest shift happened right here at the Castro Valley Marketplace. None of this existed prior to 2020. Now it's become the anchor of the town. You've got Barron's quality meats, which is a big deal if you like to cook at home. You got Amphora for premium olive oils, balsamic vinegars, gifts, and other specialty items. And then there's the pizza spot, Slice House, led by Tony Gemignani, one of the most respected names in pizza anywhere. This isn't good for a suburb pizza. Tony is world class, and having that level of quality here says a lot about where the town is headed. And if you head upstairs, you've now got real sit-down dining options. Places where you can actually meet friends, linger, and make a night out of it. Like the Vietnamese at Pho 510 or the Puerto Rican comfort food at La Perla. That may sound small, but for Castro Valley, it's a meaningful shift in how people use the town. And speaking of date nights or just unwinding after work, there's Cordial Cellars. This has quickly become a local favorite. The flow finally works. Dinner at the marketplace, then drinks here. Sometimes there's live entertainment, sometimes it's just the neighbors running into each other. Either way, it gives Castro Valley an energy it honestly didn't have 5 years ago. But it's not just the marketplace. In 2025 and into 2026, the food scene in Castro Valley is noticeably more diverse and more international than it used to be. Take HL Peninsula. This is one of the largest Chinese restaurants in the country. It's not just a neighborhood spot. It's a destination. Even though it's new, people are already making the trip from across the Bay Area to eat here, which says a lot about how the food scene here is changing. We also added everyday convenience that used to be missing. The Chinese grocery store in town, which means you're no longer driving to other cities for Asian staples. Crossroads Market fills in another gap with European products you don't typically find at a standard grocery store. If you're a sushi person, Acme is one of the more consistent options in town and a spot locals are actually using. Hokkaido is another one. It opened in 2025 and added another sushi option to Castro Valley, giving residents more choices without having to leave town. There's also a new hot pot spot opening up, which adds another style of dining that Castro Valley simply didn't have before. For cooking at home, Basa Seafood finally gives Castro Valley that proper fish market option we didn't have before again. And on the weekends, you can't talk about Castro Valley without mentioning the Breakfast Club. It's become a real community hub. You come on a Saturday morning and you see neighbors, families, and people actually gathering, not just passing through. Why does all this matter for home values? Because Castro Valley is no longer just a bedroom community where you sleep and leave. It's becoming a place where people stay, spend time, and build routines. You're paying a premium for prices to live here. And now the lifestyle finally matches the price tag. Now let's talk about the houses, because this is where people really get caught off guard. Castro Valley, as I mentioned, has always been a premium market. That part isn't new. What has changed in 2026 is who you're competing against. It's never just been local buyers moving up from a starter home, but in 2026, that outside demand has become much more pronounced. We're seeing consistent demand from the Peninsula to the South Bay, from San Francisco, San Mateo. These are people who are used to $3 million price tags on homes that still need major work. So, when they come to Castro Valley and see a well-designed custom home listed for 1.8 or 2 million, it doesn't feel as expensive to them. It feels like a value. And by the way, this is exactly why I'm putting together a separate video showing you what a $2 million custom home actually looks like here in Castro Valley. Because context here matters a lot when you're comparing this market to the Peninsula or San Francisco. That's the competition you're stepping into now. At the same time, the inventory mix has changed. We're seeing fewer true fixer-uppers and more move-in ready homes. And that matters because construction costs in 2026 are still high enough that most buyers don't want to take on major renovation. Between labor, materials, and timelines, the math just doesn't add up. So turnkey homes command the premium, and they're the ones getting the strongest offers. If this breakdown is helpful, I share this kind of real on-the-ground context twice a month on this channel. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next neighborhood deep dive. I also have another channel that I link over here or down at the bottom. Lots of real estate information that you can lean on. One thing buyers coming from San Francisco, the Peninsula, or even parts of Oakland notice almost immediately is the land. Castro Valley homes often sit on meaningful larger lots than what buyers are used to. You're not just buying square footage inside the house here. You're buying outdoor space, separation from neighbors, and breathing room. But, and this is important, that land isn't always flat. And with many newer builds, you're often getting a smaller, more engineered lot compared to older homes in Castro Valley. Much of Castro Valley sits on the hillside in varied terrain. That means larger parcels, but also slopes, retaining walls, drainage considerations, and sometimes limited usable yard space. Two homes with the same lot size on paper can feel completely different depending on how that land lays. This is something I talk about a lot on my other YouTube channel, Savvy Homeowner, where I break down home improvement decisions and how to actually maximize your property value. Bigger lots can be a huge advantage, but only if you understand what's usable, what's maintainable, and what's realistic to change. The takeaway: larger lots are part of why Castro Valley commands a premium, but understanding the usability of that land is just as important as the size itself. The sticker price of the home hasn't dropped, but the monthly cost to carry has changed in a big way in 2026. And it comes down to one thing: insurance. If you're shopping in the hills, Palomar Hills, Five Canyons, or many of the custom neighborhoods above town, you have to think about fire exposure and insurance availability before you fall in love with the house. Your mortgage might look reasonable, and then the insurance quote comes back and it's a reality check. That's why my rule in 2026 is simple. We don't write an offer until we've done the insurance check. Quotes first, options confirmed, no surprises. The bottom line: insurance can make or break the deal. Finally, let's talk about the commute, because this matters again. During the pandemic, nobody cared about Highway 580. But in 2026, the return to office firmly back in place, Castro Valley's location is one of its biggest pain points. Because of its central location and access to neighboring cities, lots of those neighbors use the local surface streets to get to and from their destination. They're creating traffic jams during rush hour. And when 580 gets jammed, rest assured, Castro Valley Boulevard is also a parking lot. Now yes, 580 gets crazy traffic, but Castro Valley has something many deeper East Bay suburbs don't have. A BART station that actually works for daily commuters. From here, you can get to San Francisco's financial district in roughly, 40-45 minutes without getting in your car. That combination, BART access, strong schools, and larger lots is incredibly hard to replicate this close to the city. So what's the verdict for 2026? Castro Valley remains one of the most desirable and yes, expensive markets in the East Bay. Prices haven't meaningfully pulled back and the bar for getting into a home here is higher than ever. But if you want strong schools, real land, and a community where people actually recognize each other, this market continues to justify the premium. Hey, I'm Mac Rogers. I've been selling Castro Valley for years now. I also run Savvy Homeowner YouTube channel as well as this one that only deals with Castro Valley. I help homeowners and buyers make smarter decisions about improving and protecting their biggest asset. If you want to understand what it really takes to win a home here in 2026 and avoid the mistakes buyers are making in this market, reach out below.